For the best experience, put on headphones and write a comment, where you are from, and what time you are watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. The rain pounded relentlessly outside, each droplet a reminder of the gloom that often enveloped this town. It was an all too familiar sound. Drop, drop, drop. My gaze drifted to the nightstand beside my bed, where the clock read 3:40 a.m. This was a routine occurrence. The rain falling so heavily that it found its way through the one tiny crack in the roof above me. Drip, drop, drip. With a sigh, I swung my legs over the edge of the bed, the soft cream carpet greeting my feet as I lowered myself. As I hopped off, a rustling came from the far side of the room. A small head peeked out from the cage, squeaking eagerly. Nolly, my pet ferret, was already bouncing around, thrilled to see me awake. I ambled over to her large black cage, offering a half-asleep smile. "Not playtime yet, Nolly," I murmured. "Hiss," she retorted, her usual demanding tone clear. The persistent dripping continued as I returned to my bedside. I rummaged through the drawer and retrieved a hefty roll of black and white checkered duct tape. Surveying the pink sheets, I pinpointed where the water was seeping through. Jumping back onto the bed, I tore off a piece of tape and applied it to the source of the leak before letting the roll drop onto the floor. A sudden thought struck me. Why are my blinds open? I could have sworn I had closed them before drifting off. Shaking it off, I knelt on the bed and pulled the black blinds shut. Peeking outside, I was met with the sight of rain-soaked streets, water pooling up to about 3 inches. The neighborhood was quiet, save for the heavy rainfall and the soft sounds of Nolly's movements. My stomach grumbled in protest, reminding me of my need for food if I hoped to return to sleep. I stepped out of my bedroom, indifferent to the creaking of the door. Living alone, what did it matter? I walked down the lengthy hallway toward the living room, eventually making my way into the kitchen. Flipping the light switch on, I took in the space. 2 windows caught my attention. One above the sink and another set of glass doors leading to the back deck. Glancing up, I remembered the skylight I'd almost forgotten about. Raindrops pelted the glass overhead, the sound finally registering in my mind. Shrugging, I opened the pantry, only to find nothing appealing. Everything required too much time to prepare. Letting out a heavy sigh, I turned the lights off and retraced my steps back to the bedroom. The rain intensified as I settled back onto the bed, defeated by my lack of options. Pulling my bright pink Hello Kitty covers over me, I closed my eyes, hoping for sleep to claim me. 4:12 a.m. glowed from the bedside clock. Had I really taken that long just to check the pantry? The rain continued its relentless assault, but it was Nolly's restless movements that kept my mind racing. Just as I was about to surrender to sleep, I opened my eyes to something that would remain etched in my memory. I froze, a cold sweat spreading across my skin. Outside my window, an ominous figure was staring back at me. I couldn't call it human, it was too distorted. Its skin was a deep black, stitched together across the face in a grotesque fashion. Instead of eyes, there were 2 vertical gray stitches, and a minuscule hole in the center of its face seemed to serve as its nose. The mouth was non-existent, just smooth, dark skin that gave no hint of humanity. Despite its lack of visible eyes, I felt its gaze piercing through me. Its head was pressed so close to the window that I could see the fog of its breath against the glass. I found myself entranced, unable to look away as the rain faded into the background, leaving only the sound of its breathing against the window. My trance was broken when Nolly hissed sharply, her small body writhing in her cage. Startled, I jerked my head to see her clawing at the bars, desperate to escape. Turning back to the window, the figure had vanished. No trace of it remained. I quickly shut the blinds, heart racing. Nolly continued her protests, but I lay back in the dark, searching for my earplugs, hoping to drown out the sound of her agitation. Was that creature just a figment of my imagination? I couldn't shake the image from my mind, The stitches, the oppressive darkness of its skin, the sound of its breath. Sleep eluded me. After what felt like an eternity, I decided to roll over once more, willing my eyes to close. When I opened them again, I noticed something that sent chills down my spine. My window wasn't just closed. It was wide open. My heart raced as I stared into the darkness outside, searching for that figure. It was gone, but the unsettling sensation lingered. In a panic, I bolted upright and closed the window tightly, ensuring the lock was secure. My gaze shifted across the street, where my neighbor was staring back at me, his face twisted into an expression that was both bewildered and fearful. Before I could process it, I felt a breath against the nape of my neck, steady, deep, and chillingly close. I hadn't heard it enter my room, and terror washed over me as I turned slowly, heart pounding, prepared to confront the darkness lurking behind me.